Have you ever stopped to think that what we call a miracle or coincidence might actually have a scientific explanation? What if I told you that the law of attraction, so often discussed in spiritual circles, has foundations that neuroscience is beginning to confirm? Today, we'll explore together how your brain and your emotions are the hidden mechanisms behind what you manifest in life. The law of attraction starts from a simple idea: thoughts and emotions shape reality. But when we look through the lens of science, we see that it's not magic. It's about neurological and emotional processes that directly influence our behaviors, perceptions, and decisions. What we think and feel repeatedly creates patterns in the brain, and these patterns determine what we notice and what we overlook. The basis of this is neuroplasticity, the brain's incredible ability to change and create new neural connections. Every time you visualize a goal, imagine a scene vividly, or repeat an affirmation, you're literally training your brain. Studies show that the brain doesn't completely distinguish between a real experience and one lived only in vivid imagination. The same areas become activated. This means that when you see yourself achieving something, you're preparing your mind to recognize and create the paths that lead to it. But there's an even more fascinating mechanism: the Reticular Activating System, RAS. Think of it as an intelligent filter. Every day, billions of stimuli reach you: sounds, images, information, but your brain only lets through what it considers important. When you focus on something, a dream, a goal, a solution, this filter begins to select and highlight opportunities, people, and ideas related to it. It's like when you decide to buy a certain car and suddenly start seeing it everywhere. It's not magic. It's your RAS working in your favor. However, it's not just about thinking. Emotion is the energy that fuels thought. Neuroscientifically speaking, emotions trigger the release of neurotransmitters and hormones that change your internal state. Dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin, for example, increase creativity, drive, and motivation, putting you in a state of openness to perceive and act. When you truly feel as if you already live what you desire, your body begins to align with that new reality. And that leads us to another important point: coherence between the heart and the brain. Research from the HeartMath Institute shows that when you're in positive emotional states like gratitude and love, your heart rhythm and brain waves synchronize. This coherence not only increases focus and mental clarity, but also enhances your ability to make intuitive and creative decisions. In other words, emotion and intention aligned create a powerful field to transform your reality. When we look at quantum physics, we find the famous observer principle, which suggests that the act of observation influences the outcome. This doesn't mean you create particles with your mind, but rather that attention and intention direct how we interact with the world, and that changes the results we get. Your focus is like a spotlight. Wherever it points, reality begins to take shape. But how can you use all this in practice? The first step is clarity, knowing exactly what you want. The more specific, the better. Then, practice vivid visualization. Imagine your goal with all your senses. Include anticipatory emotion. Feel as if it's already real right now. Keep your actions aligned. It's no use visualizing abundance, but acting from scarcity. And finally, repeat daily. The brain is like a muscle. The more you train, the stronger it gets. One point many people overlook is that the brain is constantly trying to confirm the beliefs it already holds. This phenomenon is called confirmation bias. If you believe it's hard to prosper, your brain will seek evidence to prove it. On the other hand, if you believe opportunities arise easily, it will also look for signs to confirm that view. That's why changing belief is so powerful. Another relevant concept is neuroassociation. Whenever you connect an idea to an intense emotion, that link becomes stronger, like gluing two puzzle pieces with superglue. If you associate success with stress and exhaustion, your brain will avoid that path. But if you associate success with pleasure and fulfillment, it will naturally seek ways to get there. Science also shows that the brain loves predictability. When you maintain positive mental and emotional patterns, it begins to anticipate rewards and releases dopamine even before you achieve the goal. This anticipation keeps you motivated and more likely to notice creative paths to get what you want. Here comes the importance of mental priming. Exposing your mind to images, words, and experiences aligned with your goals. This prepares the brain to react more receptively when opportunities appear, like warming up an engine before a race. Another fascinating point is the impact of guided imagination. Studies show that athletes who only imagine training with sensory and emotional detail display brain activations similar to those who physically trained. This proves your brain is always rehearsing your reality, even if you're not yet on stage. Breathing is also an ally in this process. Deep, conscious breathing practices activate the vagus nerve, regulating the nervous system and helping maintain a state of calm and focus, ideal for aligning thoughts and emotions. Moreover, understanding brain states is essential. Alpha and theta waves, for example, facilitate the absorption of new ideas and creative visualization. That's why moments right after waking up or before sleeping are ideal for practicing the law of attraction. Remember, the body plays an active role in manifestation. Your posture, tone of voice, and even the way you move influence the message you send to your brain. Expansive, confident postures reinforce positive mental patterns. We also can't forget the environment. The places, people, and objects around you influence your emotional vibrations. An organized, inspiring space stimulates mental clarity and focus, while chaotic environments can reinforce confusion and blocks. Finally, the daily practice of gratitude is proven to reprogram the brain. Neuroscience studies show that feeling gratitude activates the prefrontal cortex and strengthens neural networks linked to optimism and well-being, creating a positive cycle that favors manifestation. In the end, the law of attraction is not just positive thinking. It's aligning mind, emotion, and action to create a reality that makes sense for you. You're not at the mercy of chance. You're shaping, at every moment, the path you walk. And science is beginning to prove what spiritual masters have known for centuries. So, if this content resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications to receive all upcoming videos, and leave your like. This not only helps me share this message with more people, but also tells the algorithm that this is a topic worth spreading. And be sure to comment below, what was your biggest insight from watching this video? I'd love to hear about your experience and respond. Remember, you are the creator of your own reality. The more you understand how your mind works, the more power you have to direct your thoughts, emotions, and actions toward the life you want to live. And never forget, there's no dream too big for someone who has already decided to make it happen. The universe responds to clarity and action. The next step is yours.